Are we on?
Rolling.
You're rolling. Hello, everybody.
What's up? How we doing out there?
What's today, Wednesday?
Today's Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. We're officially living in Groundhog's Day.
Our son was, Dad, is today Thursday or Friday? I said, no. It's Wednesday. It was actually Tuesday. It was yesterday. So what's up? What are we chatting about today?
We're just hanging. We want to let some people come online. So I thought we can just shoot the poop for a little bit. Touch base. Yeah, there's some feedback.
We can hear that.
Okay.
So we just got to make
You can hear that too.
my telephone's turned off there.
But so I thought we can kick things off with what we've been doing on our 1440 team calls, which is P&P.
P&P.
We each share something personal and something professional that we're proud of. And I'm going to put you on the spot first, if you're okay with that.
Professionally, business-wise, we are tearing it up. We are building and building and building some more. It's really exciting. The biggest hit right now is our time with our children.
Yeah.
Probably taking the biggest hit, which is really tough to see, but they're warriors and they're going to be just fine, and we get to spend a lot of time with them normally. And ironic enough, during this time, we aren't spending as much time with them. Yeah. But we're gonna double up on that and do a really good job and bounce back really soon. This weekend's exciting. On a personal level, I'm just grateful for so many things. Health, happiness. I'm grateful to be going through this time because it's difficult, and I'm gonna have so much more gratitude than I already had for life, and being able to spread my arms out and run around in circles at the beach and climb trees and do normal things that are going to feel weird. That's really exciting. So that's this is going to be a positive thing for all of us. I think we endure this, then it's just going to be bright and sunny at the end of this. We're going to learn so much and grow so much, and that's what it's all about. So
all right.
Hang on tight.
Yeah. For me, I will echo what you said with regard to the professional side of life, that P1440 is growing. We're gangbusters. We're really focused, and momentum is just building toward really powerful global initiatives to service the sport and the community that we love so much. After we get done with the P&Ps, we will share with you guys a really exciting announcement that we have for all of you guys. So professionally, things are awesome. A lot of work. But the work is meaningful, and when things are meaningful, you know, you're willing to do what it takes, so it's awesome. Personally, kind of like you, babe, I'm really starting to sincerely appreciate the simple joys in life. It's so easy to take all the beautiful blessings in our life for granted because life is very, very good. And yet I feel like I'm in jail with this quarantine. I'm not. I'm in heaven. I'm literally in heaven on earth, but just, you know, I feel like I'm in jail sometimes. And the past couple mornings...
Do you want to choke me sometime?
I do. I do, just for a second. But I love you. I know it goes both ways, too, so we're okay there.
No way, never.
But I've been going on 2 days in a row, which is beautiful. Morning walks with Joey and Cool Hand Luke, our pup, and it's so beautiful. We live in a beautiful neighborhood, and you know the sun is shining, God is everywhere. And this time where I'm feeling very restricted and restrained and a little bit sad, the simple joys are like outshining everything. So I'm really grateful for that. Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. Thanks. Okay, should we say the announcement?
Yes. What is the announcement?
What is the announcement? Share? Well, the thing we've been spending 14 hours on a day.
I know what the announcement is.
Us and our whole team of 1440, our Little But Mighty team. So basically, you guys, we are officially launching at 2 o'clock to the general global public our first virtual training camp with P1440. And this is basically all of the offerings that 1440 as a company has given to our semi-pro developmental program. World-class coaching, world-class physical fitness and strength training, recovery support, everything that Casey and I do on the daily basis to become excellent. We've been working to give to our P1440 developmental athletes, and now we've done a virtual program where you guys can sign up today starting at 2 o'clock at p1440.com to participate in a 4-week virtual training camp.
Super simple. It's going to drop one day at a time. Monday's workout will drop Monday, Tuesday's workout, and so on. And we'll go till Monday through Thursday, and then Friday you get the wonderful Kerri Lee on the mic.
Yeah. We're going to have volleyball trainings 4 days a week. We're going to have strength trainings twice a week, agility and fitness trainings 3 times a week. You're going to have live Zoom calls with myself, with the coaching staff. We're working on a recovery, people getting involved. So this is literally a little taste of what we get to have as professional athletes, and we're offering it to you. It's going to be $200. It's for 4 weeks, and you're going to live the lifestyle, and you're going to feel the heart and soul of 1440 and the heart and soul of what has made Casey and I able to have success on every level in volleyball, indoor and beach. This is for the whole volleyball community, which is a focus on the fundamentals and a focus on the self.
4 weeks for trainers that we've hired and invested in for 20 years. Tommy Knox is somebody that we have used for strength training, conditioning, diet, so many elements that he brings to our lives. We're going to introduce to you guys in this training session window for a month. Normally this stuff would cost, I was trying to put it together, 2 days of what we're offering is worth what it costs, and you're going to get 30 days, which is awesome, and it's a great deal. We're trying to make it possible for everyone to get a hold of this and to get this information, so that even when you are not on lockdown anymore, you can still use some of the things that we're going to bring. We're not going to be in a weight room. It's going to be just simple things that you can do around your house, outside of your house. It's going to be curated for you right now during the virus, but it will be something that can live forever, that you can use forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting to share that. They are professionals. This isn't just us putting something together. We're using the professionals that we pay a lot of money to be a part of our lives, and we love them dearly. They become close friends. And so check it out.
So as a community, we're all going to get rad these next 4 weeks. You guys are cordially invited. So go to p1440.com, register today. The spots are limited, and they're going fast. It's really exciting how fast they're flying off the shelf. So go now. It'll be worth every moment. That's our goal, to cherish every minute with you guys. So
thanks for being here today.
Yeah.
We're going to get down and dark.
Yeah.
I don't know about what kind of dark, but let's jump into it.
Well, it's interesting because I was thinking of a topic for this week, and I've been doing a lot of Zoom calls with club teams around the country, and there's like a subtle undercurrent of people dealing with a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of fear, and just, the burdens of life. And
in general,
but
this time.
But the pursuit, so we'll do this in the volleyball context, the pursuit of excellence, the pursuit of a college scholarship, the pursuit of a spot on the team, all of these things, can be heavy. And at times for all of us, no matter how high you are on the mountain, they're really heavy things, because fear creeps in, doubt creeps in, resentment, all these things. And so I thought today would be a powerful time to talk about it, because Casey and I have lived, as we said last week, vastly different lives in this game. But we've always, been pointing in the same direction, and we've always made it to the same spots in our different ways. And the dark side of life is just gnarly. It makes me so uncomfortable to even think about this, because in my life, I don't like to talk about it. Not because I don't acknowledge it, not because I haven't been affected by it. I have, deeply. But I don't believe in, I don't believe in speaking to things that I don't want in my life. But I think sometimes that makes, I'm not able to overcome certain things or understand them or look them in the face and move past them because I don't do that, perhaps. So the dark side kind of makes me nervous to talk about.
It's a gray area.
Yeah.
It's a dark area.
It's a dark, and also I think I love edgy people, and I don't think all darkness is bad. I want to be a killer when I compete, and I don't want to feel guilty about that. I want to do it very respectfully, but I appreciate the dark side. One of the reasons I adore you so much and find you as sexy and amazing as you are is your dark side. you know? Like, you're a well-rounded human being. You got the light and you got the dark, and I think that's what we're all made of, you know? And it's just like, kind of like, which wolf are you going to be feeding more often than not?
Who's hungrier? I agree. There's different elements to it. I think I have a lot of people that I get along with are dangerous people, like have been to prison or whatever it is, and they're close to me. But I think we're talking about the dark side. To me, there's different, obviously, elements to different discussions, and today we're talking about, I think, the dark side of fear. The fear that you have on, am I not working hard enough? Am I going to make the team? Am I going to get a scholarship? And it's all these like cameras that are looking at you, and as people, we all think that there's always a camera on us all the time, and that we're being judged, but really we're doing it to ourselves. So it's the inner voice that is speaking, and how you can train that inner voice to say different things, and how you can ignore the things that aren't fitting with who you want to be as a person. So there's a training method to it. We've learned on a lot of different ways how to train that. But first I had some thoughts that I wrote down. That dark side, what is it? Is it insecurities? Is it our overconfidence, meaning we posture up bigger and blow up bigger to show that we're confident, that we're not insecure? Is it okay to be mean? Is it okay to be hungry? Meaning, in a situation where I play volleyball, I don't shake people's hands after we've shaken hands before the match. Hey, good luck, wish you the best. And then I shake my partner's hands, and then we go on, and then when people cross in volleyball, they go under the net and they stick their hand out, and I'm just like, I go around the net because I don't want to shake my enemy's hand right now. I'm in this imaginative world where I'm fighting and I'm a warrior, and I don't want to be your friend.
Do you feel like that's your choice? That's a beautiful choice, powerful. I fully understand it. Do you feel like you have to explain yourself
to them?
Yeah.
No, I never do.
If they get offended?
No, I've had guys chase me around the ref stand, literally, and I see them coming to shake my hand, and I go back to the court and I tell them, hey man, I'm not your friend right now, so I don't want to lie and give you 5, because I'm going to give you a wet, clammy high five if I can do it. And I don't want to do that. It's not sincere. So it's not me at that moment. And sometimes I've wondered, is that cool? And I'm like, it's fine. After the game, I'll hug and kiss you, whatever you want. And then I was talking about with you can being obsessed with success and dominating in your sport, if you don't have the fear and anxieties of some athletes, if you don't have that fear because you're just constantly seeing the light. I'm going to get this. Maybe your dark side could be the obsession, and can obsessive behavior towards being a champion be a dark side for you?
Yeah. Well, and I think that's something that we both lived. My pursuit. I mean, I would say our pursuit, our expressions of our obsessions are different, right? And our methods, perhaps, to excellence are different. But I could say, perhaps, that I'm the more obsessed one more often. And it's a beautiful thing to have something that you love so much and that you're so focused on and you're willing to do anything. The dark side for me that's come in my pursuit is when I lose sight of the life side of the pursuit. Meaning, you're my biggest love. I stop watering and nurturing our relationship, assuming that you understand what I'm doing and you're okay with me neglecting you for this pursuit. Basically when I lose myself in the pursuit.
Yeah, when you lose yourself in the pursuit, is it still fun? Is what I mean. Like beyond the past or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, can you lose sight by being so involved? Like there was a girl on one of the Zoom calls the other day that was like, you could tell that she was doing everything she could and she was somber about it, and I forgot the question she'd asked, but you could tell she was just so in it. Sometimes you can hold a baby too tight, your little precious, and you're holding it so tight that it can't breathe. So you can almost do the opposite and choke your dream out by pursuing it with just white knuckle too
Well,
much.
I'm so glad you said that, because Mike Gervais, our performance psychologist, who has made such a difference in our lives, he has this thing he talks about, and he goes, you know, you can have your dream, and you can, sometimes if you're obsessed, like we're talking about, like you can suffocate it because you want this thing so badly, and you can, you know, be overconsumed and you can suffocate it. And then on the flip side of that is if you are so detached and you're just leaving everything to chance and your hands are relaxed, it could just fly away. And you're not going to get anywhere. So the challenge is to find the right amount of tension within your dreams and your life, and just to make everything work. Not that it's going to be perfectly balanced, you know, but just that you don't lose sight of who you are, why you started, and what's important to you outside of the dream that you're pursuing. You know, I wrote down some things because there's so many expressions of the dark side, I think, and I've lived a lot of these, but not some of them. Like, okay, so can I just read these out? And if you want to pick anything. So I wrote the dark side: fear, doubt, shame, lost identity, isolation, when your path can become very lonely. I know I've experienced that a lot. When you make decisions based out of fear, when you pursue something out of fear, out of trying to live up to other people's expectations. The physical toll, you know, as athletes, we all put ourselves through ridiculous things because we want to impress our coaches, or we don't want to lose our spot, or we're just afraid that this will all go away, so we push through in weird ways. Body image is gnarly. You know, I know a lot of athletes suffer with eating disorders, you know, because they feel like they have to look a certain way, and, you know, and I just recently, like I was just watching this conversation with Victoria Garrick, who's rad. She has a podcast called The Real Pod, and she struggled with it. And Camila Tan, who's a 1440 athlete, these beautiful, strong, empowered women who have played at the top of the game. You know, people deal with body image issues and struggle with their identity within themselves and self-love and the pursuit of whatever they're pursuing.
You're wearing a bikini on the beach.
Oh, it's gnarly.
Under the sunlight.
Yeah.
Like it's you know.
It's gnarly. But then I was thinking, and also like in our sport, in all sports, like you have to have courage because you are exposed. You're literally on a platform. You're putting your heart out there on display, and you can fail in front of the world, and you're leaving yourself wide open to the peanut gallery to be judged and criticized. And we all know that the inner critic is way gnarlier than any other critic. But for me, in my weakest moments, my darkest moments, the peanut gallery that talks so much trash and who, you know, calls me a sidekick and said I would never win without A, B, and C and whatever, in my weakest moments, my darkest moments, that makes an impact. 95, 99, 98% of the time, that goes right by me.
Yeah.
But in my weakest moments, when I'm living out of fear, and when I'm playing in fear, fear of failure, fear of whatever, that creeps in, and that's gnarly.
Yeah, that was a fuel for the fire for me. When someone would yell something and I could hear it, and they would say something and heckle me, it was almost like, yes, I get to defend myself and stand up for myself and fight against these guys, and it was really fun for me to go into that, I don't know, Darth Vader world, you know, where you're just like this, not a villain. He's borderline villain, good guy, which is awesome. He has the Force. But I used to go into that dark space energy-wise and use anger sometimes to get me through matches when people were saying stuff or a ref made a bad call.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't want to get off track. They're different.
Well, I have can I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
Okay, because I think the difference, kind of like Jordan, Steph Curry, they're everyone's unique expression of passion and how you respond when you're backed in a corner, when someone's talking trash, whatever it is. Like, we all are allowed to express ourselves in our way. I think why Steph Curry can dance in someone's face and Jordan can be Jordan and you could yell back, why it was acceptable, because it was authentic. You know, even if there was like an edge to it, like it wasn't contrived, and you're not doing it for the sake of doing it, which to me is a show. You know, it's this mask you're wearing. But to me, in those moments, for you, you were doing you, and you didn't have the mask on. You know, you didn't let other people's perhaps perceptions that you could be mean or being an a-hole or aggressive. stop you from responding in a powerful way for you.
That's a good point. It was definitely sincere.
Yeah.
I mean, I have players on the other side of the net when it was, I remember a team that was up on us 16-12 in the second game, and they won the first game. And the ref made a bad call, and it was 17-12. And I was so angry. I yelled at the ref, and I just was so frustrated and emotionally pissed. And I look across the net, and the guy was waiting for the ball to be thrown to him, and he was dancing. And I just stared at him for about 10 seconds straight and was like, oh yes, that's just what I needed. And we smashed him in 3 games. We won the second. He beat him in the third. I had so many situations like that where I tapped into it because somebody lit the fire and woke up the dragon. But afterwards, I surely let them know when that last ball went down, and I just yelled or did something that it was just letting it out. It was such freedom to compete. Some people were really offended by it, like, you can't do that, or, you know, he said a bad word or whatever. I just thought, oh man, it was never deep down personal trying to hurt somebody. It was competing. Yeah. And it was, you could say it was dark. I was pissed off. Yeah. So I think it's okay to do that. I think it's okay to show your true emotion in that moment. The premeditated stuff people see. Yeah. The moments where you're trying to, like, oh, I got to do something at this moment and fake it or whatever it is. I don't know. That stuff doesn't give me any. So you can go watch it back on video later too. Yeah. It's cool to see yourself and see, I don't want to do that anymore. Yeah. I don't like how that looks.
No, for sure. It's a messy process, you know, learning how to perform, growing into yourself. Even for me, who's been playing the sport for 30 years, since I was 10 years old, I've been professional for so long. I feel like I've lived and died and become a new person so often, you know, like I've lived dreams. I've had to grieve certain dreams. I've transitioned and grown into new people because of the dark side that I've had to go through, you know, to grow. You know, I feel like in order to grow in life, like sometimes you don't grow when you're comfortable, right? And you grow when you're pushing the edges of your boundaries. And sometimes as you're growing, you don't respond in the cleanest, most appropriate way. And you learn through being an a-hole, you know, like for me, you know, there's a quote, you changed my life with this. So when I get nervous or when I'm overexcited or fearful, I get loud when I compete, right? Like, I'm always loud, I'm in it, but it's a different level. And there's this part in Jeremiah Johnson, that's one of my favorite parts, it's one of your favorite parts you always mention, that Jeremiah, when he's being chased by the Indian who's always yelling at him. And at one point in the movie, after the Indian chasing him and yelling the whole movie, Jeremiah's talking to the elder, right?
No, there's he's with this guy that's a bad guy, and they're riding horses in the mountains, high up in the mountains, and the guy has Indian scalps on his horse saddle, and they ride up to this tribe of Indians, the Sioux, and the guy takes the scalps off of his horse and puts them on Jeremiah Johnson's, who had nothing to do with it and never was even involved. And this Indian and his tribe roll up on their horses, and he sees those scalps, and he knows that they're from the Cherokee or
his tribe.
They're from a different tribe that he's enemies with. And so the Sioux sees those, and he's scared, and he's yelling in his language, "Who are you? What's your name?" And he's yelling at him, and Jeremiah looks at the guy he's riding with, who's not a great guy, and says, "What's he shouting for?"
Because he's scared of you.
And then he said, because he's scared of you.
Well, I've watched that. But that's the point, because he's scared of you. And so when you're playing in fear, when you're living in fear, like you yell, you do ugly things. I certainly do, and I'm imperfect. And, you can't correct that in the moment. You just have to learn from it and move on. And that's kind of the point that I'm at right now in my life. After Rio, I lived in a lot of fear when I played. Like, I felt so much shame after the semifinal match loss. I felt it was all my fault. I felt like I let you down, let our whole family down, April, her family, and it was really hard for me. And it made me understand that my identity was wrapped around being a winner am winning, period. And the fact that I failed on the world's biggest stage and I felt like it was all my fault, like it really shook me. And I lived really dark days, and for a couple of years I played in fear, and I have never played in fear my whole life. And so I have a lot of compassion for people in that spot a lot, you know. But at some point there's a reckoning, at least for me, and it's like, I don't need to play in fear. I don't need to be perfect. I can't go back and fix that. My job is to learn from it. Babies, you okay? Sorry, our kids are downstairs.
I got it. Oh, that was just that ball.
And so my point in this sharing this story is that going through really dark times, it's part of the journey. You know, like not everything is linear, not everything's roses and sunshine. Even though in my life I really focus on that 99% of the time. You know, that the crap is necessary to go through, and it shakes you, and then you have to level up. And so to me, the dark side, however much it sucks, however much it hurts, you know, it makes you level up. And the fact that I keep leveling up after going through crap, after failing and falling flat, being embarrassed, being messy, hurting people I love, the fact that I keep taking accountability and leveling up makes it all worth it, you know? If I didn't do that, I'd be like, what the hell is that for? Like, I'm miserable. I'm gonna hang this up, you know?
Yeah, and that's not all you're doing. I mean, all of that stuff is, first of all, it's not life and death.
No. It feels like it though sometimes.
And yeah, you put that much weight on it, and it feels like it for sure, but you didn't let anybody down in the Olympics. You had a moment that you needed to go through. You know, you needed to go through that, and I remember being in the hotel room in Rio and saying, you know, there's a lot of little girls out there that have never seen you bleed, and you just got cut, and now you get to show the world that you can get cut and knocked down and punched in your teeth, and you're going to get up and you're going to go win a bronze medal, and it's going to be just as awesome as a gold. You're playing the #1 team in the world in Brazil, and they're Brazilians, and you're going to play them for a bronze, and go get it. And you went and got it. So I think that you showed the world that, you know, although you've done nothing but win gold medals, that you had a real life situation, and that you're human, and that your Rocky story is in motion right now. And Rocky lost the belt, and it's time to get it back.
Yeah.
So you bring your dark to light. I have a quote. I had a Bruce Lee shirt on today, but I didn't wear it, and I wanted to read it. Do what seems wise to be done, forget it, and walk on. Walk on and see a new view. Walk on and see the birds fly. Walk on and leave behind all things that would dam up the inlet or clog the outlet of experience. And I know Kerri's a big Bruce Lee fan, so.
So what do you get from that?
No matter what you do, you have to, you don't live in that moment. If it was a great moment or a bad moment, you gear up and you progress. And what he's talking about in this article is somebody's talking about is how you have to let things go, whether they're good or bad, and you have to continue to change and become the person that you want to be that day, and don't take everything, not everything lightly, but learn from it and grow. But like, so I got a lot out of it. I love it, because good or bad, you need to just be like, that doesn't, I'm going to do something great today. Like, that was yesterday. You do a great job with that. Kerri has 3 gold medals. We don't even know where they're at. And I love that. We don't have posters and trophies all over our walls of accolades from sports, because I don't know. I've never felt comfortable with. I have them in a box that's locked for my kids to look at it and read for like 5 minutes one day, and then they can do whatever they want with it.
I have a question for you. So I feel like you and I come from different worlds in so many ways, but for me in my career, I've been so blessed to, like, I've never been the underdog, ever. Every team I've ever played on, I've always been one of the taller ones. You know, things are more obvious, the winning's clear, all these things. on your side, you've been the underdog a lot. People have underestimated you a lot. People maybe overestimated me a lot. My success and people's support and love of me makes me insecure. It's the dark side of perhaps being too tall too early, and people think you're just going to be right automatically, or just early success, because my past success is so past, like my past success makes me insecure. It drives me. I'm so proud of it. But today, when I want to be winning, it has no relevancy. And so for you, who's the underdog, like I would love for you to speak to the underdogs of the world and how you turn that. Some people can be so pissed off and they would stay underdogs, but you become a top dog by using that chip on your shoulder, for lack of a better phrase.
It's just like any movie that any of us have ever watched. You want to see the big, bad, strong, gnarly villain versus, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of them, meaning the bad guys, whether it's like Lord of the Rings or Star Wars, the Stormtroopers, or Braveheart. There's always the underdog has to do something that nobody believes that they can do. And it's what we see every day in movies, but very few of us actually say, F it, I'm going to do it. And to answer your question, I thought that I was setting my goals super high because other people were like, there's no way, dude, you're going to play junior college, you're probably not going to make D1. If you do, it'll be like a D2 school or, whatever. And I continued to blast through those roadblocks, if you will, or people that didn't think I could do it, and it kept happening and kept happening. And so, to my fault, I was setting my goals higher than everybody else thought I should. And whether they were laughing or whatever, there was other people that were just like, yeah, dude, you're, like, even my best friends were like, they told me, they're like, there's no way, dude. And now they're like, I can believe it because I know you now and I've seen it. I have said to myself, I didn't set my goals high enough. I didn't set my goals high enough because I set goals that other people thought I couldn't get. Instead of saying, I'm going to be the greatest athlete of all time, which is what I should have said, because I loved soccer and basketball and I wasn't sure what I was going to play. But once I started playing volleyball, I should have said, I'm going to be the best beach volleyball player on the planet, or volleyball player, or whatever. I never said that. I said, I'm going to win tournaments, I'm going to go to the Olympics and win a gold medal, and I'm going to do these things. But it's almost like we don't set goals that are small enough sometimes, the chain links to get to the top chain link. But I look back and say I didn't set mine high enough, and people would be like, you're crazy, you did a lot of things, a lot of great things, and won some championships. But the difference with what your mindset is that you had the mindset of saying, I'm going to be the greatest player of all time. And I think that there's a difference. I have goals, and there's so many people that are just happy to put the shirt on and go to the Olympics. So I don't know, I hope that answers your question, but I was pissed off, and I was going to not let people determine how far I could go. But they almost clouded my vision to see that I set my sights on a star that was too close, and I should have fished for that further one. But I learned a lesson. And
well, what I love about that is that it's everything in life, any pursuit of excellence in any field, volleyball, life, marriage, relationship, like it just has to feel good within, right? Like your pursuit, you were comfortable putting yourself out there, setting high goals, even though they could have been higher, despite your friends and people you love and trusted saying you're crazy. You were comfortable because you had this inner knowing and this purpose and this drive. And I think that's what it all comes down to. Like I was writing, like, what's the antidote to the dark side? Right? Because there's an antidote to all the dark things out there. And to me, fundamentally, the antidote is love for yourself, love for what you're pursuing, truth, You know, you have to have honest conversations with yourself and really like get down to the heart of matter. Why am I feeling this fear? You know, like, let's shine a light on this fear so that it can go away. If I keep it in darkness, it's just going to get bigger and bigger. That's been my experience. Connection to your faith, to yourself, to your people. I think that's a huge antidote to all these things, because in life, for me, and I think it's just human nature, when we go through hard crap, the tendency is to isolate, right? And I don't know if that's out of shame or being perceived weak, but like, we all feel like we have to problem solve on our own. And I think isolation is one of the most dangerous things in the world. Especially when you're going through the dark times and the darkness. And so, and the antidote to that is connection with your people and having the courage to be vulnerable and reach out to your people. Finding meaning in your pursuit. You know, if my pursuit was just about winning a gold medal, man, or just about winning, I would have retired so long ago. You know, but it's more than that. It's about my expression of my soul and becoming who I am and inspiring the world and finding inspiration in the journey. So knowing your purpose and knowing your why, like, and just ultimately it just comes down to love to me. That's the most powerful antidote to any of the darkness. And it sounds so fluffy, but I think it's really important when things are so damn dark. You have to take a moment, take a breath, go back to the place of how do you want to feel? What do you want to be? And that all comes from like self-love. Like, you have to have worth in yourself to get yourself out of the darkness, you know?
Absolutely.
I think that's really, really important.
There's a song that when you said something that by Hosier?
Hosier? H-O-S-I-E-R.
Says, never try to tame your demons, but always keep them on a leash. And I love that, and I always put in the word dragons. Never try to tame your dragons, but always keep them on a leash. Use it how you will, but it's not trying to kill a part of you and stamp it out forever and ever and kill it and tame it, but keep that horse wild, but just, you know, keep it on a leash. That's how I look at it. When you have that moment where you're really angry or pissed off, or you're bummed out and you're on lockdown and you feel trapped, I don't know, find a way to let it out, like Kerri's saying. Reach out to somebody. It's always good to share good and bad things. Everybody shares the good things. I did this, but it's really important to share that dark side and talk through it. So
I have one more question, and hopefully this will kind of affect people out there, whatever they're going through. Like, I feel like one of the dark sides that show up in life is when you're doing something because you think you should be doing it, not because it's true to you, right? So we have all these juniors out there, and even like people who've spent 10 years in the sport and they're only 16, but they've spent 10 years pursuing something their parents have sacrificed, you know, their coaches have sacrificed, and perhaps they're in this mode where they're like, I don't know if I want to do A, B, and C that's required for the commitment to be great or to my team. So what would your advice be to people who are in that gray area, trying to figure out if they should proceed on the path they've been on and risk disappointing people or pushing through it? Like, what's the solution there?
That's a great question. I think that people need to recognize, I think especially younger girls and boys and even adults out there, if you're doing it for somebody else and your parents are pushing you and they've spent thousands of dollars to get you into club and they've traveled and now you're not going to be on the team, or I'm not going to get to hang out with the cool crew anymore, and I'm not going to be around them, and there's fear like that, you're not in the right place, right? I mean, that's not what you want to be doing. If you're there because you love it and you want to be there, because you don't want to kick yourself in the foot later. Maybe there's a piano or a violin waiting for you. And I mean, we have so many outlets to see on TV what people do and how many stars there are in different ways. And volleyball is a great sport and it's taught us a ton of things. But if you're ever feeling that pressure, write it down. I mean, write down the pros and cons of what you're doing, how much you love it. And then I would say, what would you say to those young girls out there, and how would you answer your own question?
I mean, I think exactly what you said, and fundamentally it's my life to live, it's my decision to make, and I lean on my people for guidance, you know. And I think when you're younger it's probably harder to make your own decision, but I feel like if you have the maturity and the wherewithal to recognize you're unhappy in a situation, then there's two things you can do. You can look at what's making you unhappy and see if you can, rectify it, come to terms with it, turn that into something positive, because you love what's behind it. Whatever's making you uncomfortable, you love the pursuit enough to deal with this. Or you don't love it enough and someone else loves it more than you do, and it's not your job to take on that burden. Because ultimately the people we love, our coaches, our parents, husbands, children, like, they all want us to be happy. Like, the best gift I think I can give to you is to be a happy human inside of myself. And if I'm doing something to make someone else happy that's not sustainable, it's not true, and I never want to live a lie. And so I think people who are in transition just know it's an uncomfortable time. But when flags are going up in your life, the hardest thing, at least for me, because we know I can walk 1,000,000,000 miles with a pebble in my shoe, is to slow down and be like, why am I so anxious and stressed? Like, for me, it's really hard to slow down and acknowledge that, because I'm a coper. And I like to just keep moving forward. And that's one of my dark sides. Like, I just push through. And sometimes I'm so dense, like my shoulder's literally out of my socket, or my husband's ready to say goodbye to me because I don't stop and take a moment and be like, take stock of my life. And so I think that's a really important thing. When things are hard, you just take a breath and you be honest with yourself. You lean on the people that you love and trust, who you know will have an honest conversation with you. And take it one step at a time. Decisions don't need to be made in the moment when your brain's all foggy. Like, you can take a moment and be honest and work your way into whatever decision it is.
I think it's for adults too. They can trap themselves. I've been doing this for 20 years. I got to keep doing it. I got to keep the lights on. If that's the mindset that you have, then stop talking about it.
Yeah.
But if you want to change your life, then start to find creative ways and make it happen. But for you young girls out there playing club, and boys, whatever sport, check yourself. Make sure you're doing it because you love it. Otherwise, it won't last. And if you're squeezing it too tight, give it some air, let it breathe, but continue to hold on to it.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm so curious. Okay, a lot of people, real quick, talk about sacrifice. Like, I have to sacrifice so much to go to the Olympics. I have to sacrifice so much to be a parent. Like, whatever things are hard in life, you have to sacrifice. I've never ever looked at any of the decisions I've made, any of the consequences of those decisions, or the required action, as sacrifice.
Right.
And I think that's a blessing and a curse, perhaps. I don't know, because what are you talking about? A lot of high school kids, they want to be great, but they also want the social life, or I don't know. Like, let's talk about sacrifice within everything.
Well, for me, I've said times before that, Kerri is willing to sacrifice a social life that she doesn't feel she's giving up. Whereas I like my friends and family and my free time, that I'm not willing to. There was times in my life where I'm not giving this up. I'm going to go out with my friends, I'm going to be with them and hang out, and I might miss a workout tomorrow. And there was a difference, and there's a difference in sacrifice, but I could have done it all. Had I balanced, it wouldn't have been a sacrifice. I wouldn't have been, and with Kerri, I think that she has lost, those, not lost connections with those friends, but moments with those friends, because now you're famous. And you sit with your friend and 15 people come up to talk to you, and you're sitting with your friend and they want you to get a picture and an autograph, and you sacrifice that time pending on you you handling that situation. There's different ways of sacrifice that you have not necessarily chosen to be in that situation to call it sacrifice, but you have definitely sacrificed more than 99.9% of the world and what they would sacrifice to attain your goal. But your goal has been worth it. You still have that connection with your family, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sisters, aunts and uncles. I mean, it's beautiful, and you've given more to the world than 99.9% of the world, and you've given back to them. So where does that sacrifice versus that give to the rest of the planet that you justify or whatever? You can't look at it, but you've done a great job on all fronts with that. So sacrifice is it's just how you paint that picture and what you give back. Make sense?
Yeah. No, I'm on a forever mission to do it right. I can't wait and doing it right means feeling good within.
You're a puppy.
And I'm a puppy.
Still a pup.
Thanks, babe. Okay, I think that's it. Do we have any questions?
Yes, we do.
Okay, we'll answer a couple questions.
We have one from Crystal Hall. How much time in percentage do you spend on the mental side of the game?
Oh, well, I feel like when I'm not practicing and I'm not training with one of my trainers, I am living it in my head. Whether it's exercising my gratitude training, or I'm meditating during the times of the day I meditate, or I'm just obsessively thinking about how amazing I want to be with my partner Brooke and within myself and my life. I'm always working on the mental side of the game. It's how I'm wired.
It's the mental side of life more so.
Well, it's one and the same. If my life isn't good, I can't play volleyball. So mostly my work. So I think at the highest level, all things physical being equal, the mental side of the game is everything. It's everything, and so I prioritize my mental training. My ability to focus, my ability to, stumble and refocus, my ability to focus on the positive.
And you'll learn some of that in the virtual workout. And we will do some sit downs with what Kerri does at 6 a.m. and before practice, and some of the things that we do, and how you can implement that mental training into your day and actually put some minutes to it, or some understanding of completely trying to black out your thoughts and neutralize everything is working in sense on your volleyball at the same time, even though you're not thinking about your highlight reel and you doing everything perfect. There's different ways to do that, and I don't think there's an amount of time that you need to focus on. I think that you can do 2 minutes a day, and then some days you can do 30 to 2 hours. It just depends, but there's different tricks to the game and your mental stability in life rather than just volleyball, because that's just one piece of the vegetable in the garden that you're watering is volleyball, and then you have life, family, and all the things that you do outside of it, so you have to water the entire garden for that specific thing to flourish.
And to be happy in life, in yourself, in your performance, whatever that is, in my opinion, is the more you can live in the moment, the more that juice and power of life is. And so that's most of my training, has me taking that deep breath that will bring me back to center, back to the moment. The mental side is fun. It's hard.
So much for our 14 minutes and 40 seconds.
Sorry. Are we done?
Live shows.
I have another
We'll
question
do one more.
From Rebecca Wilbur. Ties into all of this. How do you specifically stay in a positive mindset when you are behind in points?
I like it.
Man, that's a dragon one. That's where you got to keep your head. What are you going to do? Whine about it and focus? I never used to look at points. I didn't care what ranking I was. I didn't care who's ahead of me and who's behind me. What does that matter? If I maximize me and what I'm doing, it doesn't matter. Do I wish for that team to lose? Yeah, because I don't like them, not because of my points. But yeah, it'd be great if they lose, and that's the way it's supposed to be. If they win and they get ahead of me, God bless them. They're beating me. But don't look at other people's points. Don't look that you're behind. Are you going to go take a first place this weekend because you're behind in points? Oh, but normally you take a 5th. So you got to go and win every single tournament that you can. And if someone's beating you in points, I don't want to know about it. I don't care. That until the race is over, we can look at the points.
When you're in the game and you're down 11-8.
When you're literally. I was thinking Olympic points. Oh, literally.
Oh, I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, no. Sorry. Go ahead. I mean, you don't stop until the game is over and the clock runs out. You don't stop. Like, I was down 20-10 in a basketball game with 30 seconds left. I was like, I'm gonna score. I'm gonna get a 3-pointer. I'm gonna go Reggie Miller and 9 points in 30 seconds, whatever. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, you're there to compete. And competing means competing from point one all the way through the end of the game. And as long as the other team does not have, does not have you by 2 at the end of the game, you still have a chance. And so for me, when we're down, like, the important thing again is to take a deep breath, to center myself and to stay connected to my partner, because the teams that can stay most connected are the teams that can navigate and come back from a deficit. The teams that isolate, that don't come together, that are pissy or pissed off or playing in fear, never win, ever.
Was it Rebecca? Mm-hmm. Rebecca, when you're down and you're down 20-3 in a game, if hopefully you never are, but if you are, say, I'm going to shock the world and this is going to be the greatest comeback that volleyball has ever known. And if you're down 20-19 and you're serving, you just say, I'm going to score this next point and I'm going to steal this and shock the world. I always used to say in my head, I'm going to shock the world right here, because I'd be down by 6 and it's 20-15 or 20-14, and everyone's like, this game's a wrap, they won the first game, and I'm like, I'm going to shock the world right here. I can get an ace, he can get a stuff, whatever. It happens like that. So make it fun, make it a game.
Be mindful of your body language and be mindful of your self-talk. Because if you're down and you're really hard on yourself, you're hard on your partner, you're focusing on the negative, you're speaking negatively to yourself, you're going to be in the funk for the rest of the match. You're going to lose. Might as well quit. And body language is also a powerful thing. Natalie Cook, who we just did an athlete spotlight on her, she's a 5-time Olympian, Olympic gold medalist, Olympic bronze medalist, one of my favorite competitors in the world. She trained this way, and she preaches this to anyone. She's like, I should be able to walk up to your court and always think you're winning. You could be down by 10 points, but your body language is, I'm in it, I'm winning. I could be winning by 10 points, and I want that same posture. And I feel like when you're down by 1, 2, 10, that is the challenge, owning it. Act like you chose it, own it, and just keep going. I think it's so powerful.
And the class you show, if you do lose, is important too. I would always tell myself, whether it was being cocky or what, I would lose and say, yeah, well, I'm still me, and I'm winning. I'm winning all around. I don't know, you won this game today, but I'm winning in the whole, the garden. My whole garden's growing, and you got a great whatever vegetable in your little pit right there. You won today. But those are things that you can say, like, after you have a big loss or something disappointing, and you say, I'm winning in so many other areas. This is not going to deflate me or make me feel zero.
I think it's okay to lose. Don't lose out of fear, and go down swinging, and then you can lose with your head up. And I think that's really, really important, because losses are part of life, no matter what you're doing.
And it shows a ton of integrity when people are watching. They're like, oh my gosh, they just scored 4 points and it's 20-18, and you're still down by 2. People are just like, dang, you never give up. That was one of the greatest things I ever had a player say to me is, I know this German guy, he's young, and he played against me. He said, I've heard stories about you that you just won't stop playing and you won't give up. And he was up on us at 4 in just one of those situations, and that was one of the biggest compliments I've ever had in my life. So I really like the thought of that. Like, give me that deficit to catch up and to shock the world.
Yeah, great things happen when you're under pressure. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget, it has officially launched. It's 222, Make-A-Wish. P1440 Virtual Training Camp. It's launched right now. Go to p1440.com. You can check it out. It's for all of you. No matter what level you are in volleyball, it's for you. You can be a beginner. You can be a veteran. Our goal is to sharpen your tools, to allow you to have fun, to connect you with community, and to give you access to our amazing trainers within 1440 and within our lives.
Monday through Thursday is volleyball. Tuesday and Thursday is volleyball and calisthenic workouts that will have progressions every week. It's going to be super cool. Jump on it. Later.
Good.
3, 2, 1, and we're off. Are we off?